Hello and welcome to this video in which I'll be reviewing the songs for Festival de Canção 2024. I haven't got any properly green clothes that don't also have orange in them. The bomber jacket is pretty much the only thing, so I've put these two friends here. I bought them in a pretty similar time frame, one from Poland, one from the States. I figured the colours match well enough. I'm very excited to listen to so many Portuguese songs. They always have a really Portuguese flavour to them. The Portuguese do not shy away from making their songs sound like they belong to Portugal. Obviously it doesn't need to always happen, but it is very nice when it does, and I really enjoyed both Mara's and Mimi Cat's songs, so I'm excited to hear what we've got in the store this year. I'll get back to you once I've listened to the 20 songs and I'll give you my thoughts on some of them. I've actually not heard anything yet because I am managing to film this on the actual day that the songs are released. I've managed to catch up for now. I imagine in the month of February I'll get off track again. Okay, so I've now listened to the songs for Festival da Canção and I'm pretty impressed. I am feeling slightly thrown though because the songs aren't available on my Eurovision scoreboard yet. As a combined result of the songs not being available on my Eurovision scoreboard and me not having much time, I would like to only give you my top 5 for Festival da Canção. I don't feel very strongly about the songs past about 5, maybe past about 3 or 4 even, and I think that's a good compromise for now. Also, because I can't rate the songs in the app, I don't actually know my full top 20. I have written one down, but I feel like sorting them out in the app in a bubble sort way is much easier than just writing that down. So, and I know I could do it with like YouTube or Spotify or whatever, but I'd like doing it in my written scoreboard, and I am feeling a bit thrown, so I would only stick to the top 5. But generally the standard is very high. Generally the Portuguese songs are significantly higher than similar English songs because I like hearing national languages, and generally they are all a little special, a little bit Portuguese. They're not quite as much as I was expecting them to be. On the whole, most of them are, but there's a few songs which sound a little bit more generic, but that's not bad. Portugal's allowed to do pop songs as well. Overall, the one word I'd use to describe these songs is chill. I wrote that down so many times. And I would also like to apologise. I don't know Portuguese. I did attempt to learn it for a few months at one point because there was good reason to. That being a little child, oh, sorry Robin, that being a little child who I had somewhat frequent contact with, who was bilingual and did sometimes only understand Portuguese words for things, but that's a pretty long time ago now and I don't remember anything. I would also like to apologise from the get-go. In order to not butcher anyone's names, I'm not going to be saying the names. I will be saying the song titles, but also putting them up on the screen. Unless Robin shows up there, then the song titles will go there. My vowel pronunciation will probably be much more similar to Italian than Portuguese because I don't know how to pronounce Portuguese anymore. So I do apologise for that. In my 5th spot I've got Agua, which is kind of like a drums and bass kind of sound, but there is also some piano, so not entirely. The chorus is nice and bursting, but I do slightly check out in the verses. The bridge is very cool though, with a punchy bass, so overall I do enjoy the song, just the verses leave something to be desired for me. In my 4th spot I've got Quarto para which is very like disco / musical theatre kind of feel. Overall still pop-ish, but there's elements of the other stuff that I do also enjoy, and it starts with a kind of broken radio sound but also has a great instrumental, and it is a repeatable, not repetitive, repeatable in the chorus, so that's very nice as well. And there's a twang, a small twang of Violetta in there somewhere. Don't know exactly where, but it slightly reminds me of it. A lot of the songs for this I also wrote down that they remind me of Violetta. Someone once told me, whether this is true or not, that Portuguese people identify themselves more with South America and their culture than Spanish culture. And after hearing these Festival da Canção songs and for some reason connecting them to Violetta, I can see how this is true. I don't know if it is, maybe this is confirmation bias happening, but if this is true then I would also understand it now. Previously I could also kind of see it, but now I've got concrete personal proof that I can see the connection. Obviously Violetta is hyper mass produced by Disney and whatever, but it was still based in Argentina. In my 3rd spot I've got Teorias da Conspiração, which I did enjoy. I once again wrote down Violetta, and I also wrote down really chill. It's got some very lovely instruments and lovely vocalising. I wrote down lovely quite a few times for this song, and I can't describe it as much else. It just really made me feel good listening to it, and it's a very nice one that I wouldn't mind having at Eurovision for Portugal. Putting the top 3 in order was actually kind of hard, so maybe this could also change by the time I have access to the songs on my Eurovision scoreboard, but as of just having heard them moments ago, this is how I've ordered them. In the second spot I've got Bem Longa Daqui, which the first thing I wrote down was Daddy from like Daddy Frère from Iceland. It is pretty vibey and it sounds a little bit like a 70s disco to me, not even an 80s one. Kind of timeless though, even though I just said that, in a way that it does also have modern elements to it, and it's just great. The only reason I'm not putting it as number 1 right now is that there's no big moment. That can still happen in a revamp theoretically, though Portugal does leave very little time for that to happen, but it could, and it doesn't need to either. If the song has good staging and if everyone else enjoys it as much as I do, it could still do very well at Eurovision. And for me, the number 1 right now is Pelas Costruas. It's got a good start, it is definitely my vibe. It reminds me a little bit of Portugal's junior Eurovision song in 2022, which I did also enjoy. I think it's brilliant. I don't know why I love it so much, but I really do. I do start enjoying it slightly less as the song goes on, maybe because I became used to it, but it's still a brilliant song for me. The guitar solo is great, and my only other complaint is that there's a bit too little energy throughout the whole song. It does pick up slightly at the end, but I'd like it to be a bit more umphy throughout the song, and then it would be nearly perfect for Eurovision in my opinion. I would really love it with those slight adjustments, but on the whole Portugal's quality is always very high and I enjoyed loads of these songs. I just can't properly order my top 20. Those are my thoughts on some of the songs for Festival da Canção 2024. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. I really do hope that you enjoyed it, that you got something out of it. I'll see you in the next one whenever that shows up in your feed. Bye! Give you my thoughts on some of them. I'll get back to you once I've listened to the song